What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be diving back on into the Riftbreaker. This is the 1.0 version of the game. It's finally finished. And so you guys will know that I've previewed this game numerous times over the last year or so. It's a game that I'm a big believer in. If you've never seen Exor Studios before, in indie gaming, they're one to kind of keep an eye on. Every product they've put out so far has been increasingly better and increasingly larger in scale. And like their work with lighting and textures and particle effects and everything else are just absolutely fantastic. I mean, their streamlining and their optimization is great. I can't say things highly enough of Exor Studios. They really are kind of one of my favorite developers to keep an eye on. So today, what we're going to be taking a look at is, in all of my previous previews, we've been taking a look at the survival mode, which is basically you have to survive for 1 hour. If you've never seen this game before, you are a giant battlemech that has dropped down onto a xenoplanet, and your goal is to get it ready for human colonization by wiping out all of the weird alien bugs and creepy crawlies that are on the surface so that you can start using a warp gate to bring human beings over because we've totally wasted our planet. This is a base building game, it's a mech building game, it's a horde defense game, it's got like little aspects of being sort of RPG laden in there where you gear yourself out sort of action RPG style. It's a very enticing game for me. It actually hits like all my buttons that I like a lot. But we're not going to be doing the survival mode today. One of the big implementations from this build is that the game actually has a proper campaign, which I'm incredibly interested in. Even if it turns out to just be like a slower-paced version of survival, I think I'm on board for it. So if after watching this video you wanted to get the game for yourself or put it on your wish list, you are more than welcome to do so. You can check that out down below in the description. I'll have a link for you. Aside from that, you'll also find links to my Twitch stream, my Discord, and also my Twitter, just in case you wanted to holler at me in real time in the meat world. I'll definitely be playing this on stream on the day that this video goes live, and we'll be playing through the campaign, so you're more than welcome to join me over there. So check out that link down below, but yeah, let's get riding out here.
Reporting successful jump procedure.
Roger that. Begin field-based setup.
Houston, I've spotted something near the LZ. It's closing in.
All right, so here we are landing on the planet, ready to scan it.
Rift jump successful. All systems check. Gravitational strength 1.05 G. Atmospheric pressure within safe levels. Magnetic field check. Error. Repeat magnetic field check with stationary equipment. Star system positioning check. Milky Way galaxy. Sycorax belt. Planet Galatea 37. Ashley, we have arrived.
Welcome to Galatea 37, Mr. Riggs. It's so beautiful here. Virtual simulations on Earth were good, but this is amazing. An alien tropical paradise, and we're the first humans to experience it.
I'm not exactly human. You have a few parts missing as well, and the paradise part is also left to be determined. Remember your training, Ashley. We should set up a base as soon as possible.
You could at least pretend to be human. Just a bit. But you're right. There's no going home until we can construct a functioning rift station. Let's start with the basics.
Let's indeed start with the basics.
Construct a headquarters building to secure our presence here. It will allow me to reconstruct if my armor is destroyed.
Headquarters construction is in progress. This is going to be our main base of operations on Galatea 37, our new home.
We have to protect this building at all costs. You will be teleported here whenever I am critically damaged. There is no other backup if this building is destroyed.
That's basic training, Mr. Riggs. Let's focus on the less obvious things.
I am required to remind you of basic protocol, even if we've done this before. We need to expand the base. Let's build a carbonium factory to do the digging for us.
I'm glad to see that there's a lot of dialogue and stuff happening.
Let's automate this.
Like, I like that they've taken the time to kind of characterize the... So I've been playing this game for a long time, and I'm glad that they've taken the time to characterize the characters that I've already been playing as, but never really got introduced to aside from a few voice lines. So you may have noticed that I started mining almost the second that I hit the ground while they were doing all the dialogue. That's because this is a game that really, it matters how many actions you get done per minute, and I've been trained and I've been honed by the survival mode that I have like a limited amount of time to get X, Y, and Z done, so I need to hit the ground running. I've got a feeling, though, that the campaign is going to be a little bit more slower paced. So they want me to do, I know, I'll get the carbonium factory in just a second. I'm just picking up some resources and whatnot to front load. So let's go ahead and get these carbonium factories all nice and installed. I think we go one right there, one right there, one right there, and one right there, and we're going to be looking pretty gorgeous.
Not go unnoticed. We should build up our base as quickly as possible.
We're going to need to get ourselves a power grid rocking over here, too.
Protocol advises to set up walls and sentinel towers around the base. However, I don't expect as much...
Apparently, that was explosive. I totally forgot about the explosives. Totally forgot about them. There we go. Did I get my sword back? Perfect.
Long-range quantum scans were very accurate. The local fauna and flora appear almost exactly like during training. Follow the protocol, Ashley.
The environment in the simulation was very accurate. That's true. But the scenario was crafted by Riftbreaker Command. They usually focus on the brute force aspect of these missions.
Do you want to run a brute force check if this is a simulation?
You never give up, do you?
Do you?
Okay, Mr. Stubborn. I guess it won't hurt to set up some solid defenses, just in case.
All right, so I've set up our power grid here, and in fact, I may turn down the dialogue just a little bit so that I can actually get some explanation going. But anyways, they're talking about how we need power. That's exactly what I did. So we've got the carbonium mines over here that are exploiting that little patch, and then we've got some wind turbines. These function 24 hours a day, but they don't produce very much power. But I'm going to try to get more of these kind of isolated. Our power is going to fall off pretty quickly. As you can see, it's kind of struggling right now. There we go. So we'll get a couple more wind turbines put in. I'd like to get like 3 or 4 more done.
So, remember to connect all buildings to the power grid using energy connectors. They connect all buildings within their area of operation, even if power lines are not visible.
I was a little bit worried about those explosive plants right there, but we've got about 5 minutes till our first attack comes in, so I was trying to hit the ground running despite all the dialogue and get things done so that we're going to be prepped and ready to go for when the worst happens. Oh no, oh no, 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 that's not what I wanted. Cancel it, cancel it, cancel it, cancel it, cancel it. I wanted it to be scooted to right there. We're going to make kind of a grid of power right here, and then we'll put 8 solar panels down here. And then we'll have a fat battery bank right here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll get our ironium mine all up and taken. I've maintained that over the course of my life, ironium is basically what my entire existence is forged out of. If we can find another carbonium mine down here too, I really desperately need like all these plants to go away. I can help out with the carbonium mining just manually over here, which I think is going to be absolutely necessary if we actually want to get a base up and running. So I'm going to let this get up to max resources, and then we'll start putting a wall around all this so that we've actually got a defensive perimeter that we can play around with. Okay, so we're pretty solid on resources right now. It's time for us to go full defensive mode, but before I do that, I gotta get all these plants out of the way. I don't want to get all these plants out of the way. It's wasting my ammo, and I can't reload until we build a building later on. That building, oh, that's not a happy sound. Okay, apparently a meteorite just hit. That'll more than likely put resources somewhere off to the right, but it's been a while since I played last, so I don't remember the exact effect that a meteorite impact has on the overall game space. I think we probably want the wall to go out to right about. Actually, it looks like we can go kind of to right there, and then we're locked down. And then we can use this as a natural barrier. We may also be able to grab that carbonium right there, possibly. Although it's kind of hard to tell from where we're positioned right now. Yeah, I probably will try to do that, even though it's going to get expensive.
Ashley, I strongly advise you to construct an armory. It will allow us to craft new weapons and upgrades, and also manufacture field repair kits, as well as other usable items.
And it will produce more ammunition for your guns. Yes, that is an important building.
Yes, that is an important building.
The building, it is important. We must acquire it with all of our power.
Alright, so I've given myself a nice little template right here that I can work off of, and we scored ourselves a secondary carbonium mine, which is just absolutely awesome. I'm going to keep on mining on out of it, we'll get our resources filled back up, and then we'll finish off this wall, and then we'll try to get to the business of planting a flag over here, of putting down like a battery bank and then some other little things in order to make us power sustainable. I'm the kind of person that I like to front load my power grid so that I don't have to worry about it like ever again. And so I tend to, like, in the beginning stages of survival mode, I tend to put together a lot of resources so that I can make mass amounts of power so that I can just ignore that later on and just work on other projects. Especially since in the beginning of the game, it's not going to be too hard just to defend ourselves all by our lonesome. Let me get this out of the way. There we go. Perfect. Get all that moved around. I absolutely love the way it looks in this game. I call it mowing the lawn, but you get resources when you mow the lawn. And so anyways, I enjoy it tremendously. I tend to mow the lawn a lot just because the particle effects make me happy. Alright, so we got enough for walls over here. Let's go ahead and get those. I'm actually probably going to take this wall first and run it over to here just so I don't miss the shot. There we go. And then we'll put that right there. Now we need to get a gate on each side. So we'll put a gate over there, and then we'll run on up this way, and we'll try to get a gate to, like, right... That looks good. That's fine. Don't mind it right there. Over on this side, we're going to need to get a gate placed, like, maybe... I'm actually sort of thinking we put it on the corners, like so. And then we have, like, multiple ways to get out right there. It appears as though I missed a link in the chain, so it's a good thing that I walked my fence line and took a look at it. Now it's going to want me to get defenses up. That's going to be a little bit more of a headache, but I do think that it's something that we can accomplish. Our power grid is still a little bit remedial, so I'd like to do better on the power grid front as well. Let's start out with some batteries. And so I'm going to put in a small grid of batteries right here. There we go. Batteries are ready to rock. We'll link it up with a power conduit right there. And then I need to get some more resources back together. So with 11 seconds till our attack, or 4 seconds now, I guess I didn't look at my timestamp, we got to get ready for the alien marauders. They are indeed a-coming, although I don't know exactly where they're going to be striking at.
Ashley, we don't have a lot of defensive structures. Prepare to fight.
I guess you were right about setting up more defenses. We'll have to handle this ourselves. Remember to use repair kits if necessary.
I don't know why people in sci-fi never listen to the robot, man. Like, I plan to, whenever we have AI, I plan to ingratiate myself to it as much as possible. I'm not going to argue with the AI. I'm not going to poke fun at the AI. I'm just going to become best friends with it because, like, listen, I've seen Prometheus, all right? If you don't treat the robot right, he annihilates you. Oh, it's coming from the southeast. Okay. That's fine. Let's go ahead and get into a defensive position so that we can protect this thing. We have no ammo left for our machine gun, which is really kind of unfortunate. Probably should have built the armory, but our power grid is an absolute baller of a power grid. I promise you that. Oh, I hear them coming. There they are. All right, let's get to hacking, whacking, smashing, chopping that meat. Hacking and whacking and smacking. Hack, whack, chopping that meat. Uh-oh. There's explosives over here. They knocked my shield out. Unfortunate, but I can use a repair kit, which is on my hotbar down there in order to patch myself up. As long as you kind of like circle strafe and just swing, these little guys aren't really a massive threat.
Still skeptical about the local creature's level of aggression?
I'm skeptical about the procedures for prepping this planet for colonization.
There we go.
Humanity lost its love for nature after the Yellowstone eruption. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try to preserve this ecosystem.
Earth is barely habitable at this point. We have to secure Galatea 37 for colonization and resource extraction as soon as possible. Excessive care about the local environment is unnecessary.
That's not entirely true. Other rift-breaking missions have already secured a number of resource-rich planets for humanity. We're not on the brink of extinction.
Our goals on this mission are clear, and our survival and security is the top priority. Damage to the ecosystem is inevitable. You wanted to come here yourself, and you knew what has to be done. Are you doubting the mission?
I know what has to be done. That's not the point. Galatea has to be prepared for colonization. I don't doubt that. If I didn't come here myself, then someone else would have. I believe that we can do this in a better way. We have to defend ourselves and secure the necessary resources to set up the Rift Station. But we don't have to destroy all the wildlife we encounter. Humanity doesn't need another stripped-down factory world. If we want to progress as a species, then we should study this planet and learn how to blend with the environment and prepare a safe home for humanity.
I don't know about that one, Chief. These bugs look awfully hungry. Like, I didn't hear them talking about a whole lot of Socratic philosophy while they were running at me with their fangs and little blade hands, dude. He's got a sword for a hand. How peaceful could he possibly be? So this is our armory that's going up right here. The armory is going to automatically reload all of our weapons, and we can do weapons research through there.
The headquarters building. Unfortunately, this process also emits a lot of high-frequency energy waves.
These creatures are clearly drawn to our energy emissions, so it will be like an alarm bell for them. We should strengthen our defenses before upgrading the HQ.
Oh, I forgot to connect this to the grid right here. We're like gridless. Let's go ahead and we'll throw that on the grid real fast. There we go. Perfect. And that should get those up and running, which is great. I also really like that we have a little spot right there where I can manual mine if I need to.
Also automatically manufacture ammunition for my weapons.
All right, so now we want to focus on defenses, because when we put down the headquarters building, we're going to get bug rushed by every insectoid in the sector. The quadrant is just going to crawl. I apologize for that the section with all the fog right there. I know that YouTube's compression probably absolutely butchered that. Fog and grass, man, the two great enemies of video making. No matter what you do, it's just always a mess. We should probably get some solid material storage up as well so that we can store more resources over time. That'll take a couple of seconds right there. And then we also want to take a look, and we want to get some of these little server hubs done. So these little AI hubs right here, what these do is they give us more AI cores, which is in the top right. AI cores are basically how we deploy defenses. Every single defense in the game requires an AI core. So if I could stamp out a couple of those, that should give us 12 AI cores. That should allow us to kind of spackle this area with turrets to defend it while we're away, looking for other resources on the map. This map is filled out with stuff. There are like, so if you're playing survival mode, there's kind of like enemy bases and stuff out here that'll weaken the waves. There's objectives you can take over. There's bosses that'll give you bonuses to research and things of that nature. There is stuff out here. For the purposes of the campaign, I don't know if those things are in the first level just yet. But for right now, I'm going to function as though they are, and I'm just going to hope for the best. So what I'd like to do with our 12 cores now, and I don't quite know if we actually have the resources to put these all down, but I'd like to put a gun on each corner, I guess. So if we can get a gun like right here, and then a gun right there. Don't know if we'll need a gun over there, but we can get one sort of. That'll cover the whole thing. We'll put it right there, and then we'll get one. Oh, no, dude, I'm all out of bonium. My bonium done run out, and then we'll worry about running the power grid in just a minute. Let me get some more bonium up and rocking, though. All right, so my bonium is restored. The bonium is strong with us. We've got one more tower that we need to put down over here, and I think X is automatically turrets as a hotkey. Yeah, it is. I remember that for some reason. I don't remember why. I remember that X is a hotkey, but we've got guns kind of placed now. I'm going to try to put a median gun on each wall as well, just something kind of like in the middle to help out with fire suppression. And then I got to put in a gate over there, too. I keep forgetting to put in a gate. We'll put one in right there. We'll put one in right here. And then I think we need one more AI core so that we can rock out up top. Where did I put my AI cores at? Over here? Okay. AI core, you go right there. We still have plenty of resources for that. And then the second that that's ready to go, we'll put another gun right there and like another gun right there. And I think we're pretty much good for the long haul of the first level once I get that done. My gun is reloaded, so I desperately need to get all these explosive mushrooms out of the way. These explosive mushrooms being in the middle of our base are just a disgusting headache. Oh, it overwrote my power node right there. Lovely. All right, get that back up. Our power should hold throughout the night so long as we don't have severe weather that impacts the area. I think we should be okay. There is randomized weather that crops up from time to time. There's another gun right there. I think that's looking okay over here. Maybe another gun on the corner right there. Maybe a secondary gun right here. Maybe a fourth gun right there. I mean, I just got to place it. So now what we'll do is we'll start putting our grid out. And it's going to get a little bit ugly. There's not much that I can do about that. Such is life in the world of the Rift. Kind of bring this over to here. Bring that over to there. Okay, so I think the entire gun grid is up now. That is going to affect our power draw. So I think it might not be the worst idea to give ourselves another grid of like wind turbines, because we are initiating some pretty heavy drain during the nighttime. And if that drain gets ahead of us with regards to what we're trying to accomplish here, it could have... So like, we've got bad nighttime drain due to a lack of power. And so if we have bad nighttime drain and then we go into a day that has like a weather system that's going to lock our solar panels out from actually functioning, we're going to have a really, really bad time. And I'm in the business of good times. Good times with machine guns. That's the things I believe in. So let's go ahead and we'll drop this bad boy on in there. We'll drop another grid of wind. And it looks like these are not attached to the grid, which is a wieners. So we'll go ahead and take care of that real fast. And I think our base is up and spinning. It's humming hot. So it wants me to upgrade my headquarters. It's going to take me a minute to farm up the materials to do that. Luckily, unlike survival mode, we don't have a timer hanging over our head, but the defenses should be good for now. I believe we have the resources on hand to get the things done that we want to do. We've got to upgrade our main buildings, so we're going to pop on into the control menu right here, and we are going to upgrade that bad boy. Let's do it. So there goes a bunch of our resources. However, our defenses are really, really strong right now for this phase of the game. So I think we'll be okay. All right, about 10 seconds till our little buggy friends arrive. It did say that you're supposed to repair when you're near the armory, but like I don't see our HP actually repairing. So I'm just going to kind of do my thing over here. We can do manufacturing through this menu right here with some of our resources. So for example, I could make some armor plating right there. I am going to go ahead and do that, by the way. Oh, I gotta hold it. Okay. There we go. And so then we can go on over to our battlemech, and we have different slots and things. There's different appearances. There's like mods and stuff that you can put on your battlemech. But anyways, that should have given me a little bit more HP to play around with, I think. There we go. You put it into these little top mod slots right here. So there we go. It's been a while since I played last, unfortunately, so we'll go ahead and put the armor plating on in there. That gave us some extra HP to tool around with. I'm pretty sure your guns end up having mods and everything, too, from what I remember from the earlier builds of survival.
They are very close. Prepare yourself, Ashley.
When it says there's 1,000 creatures, it's not lying. There's going to be a lot of them. I'm going to go ahead and wipe that. I'm going to try to save my bullets, but I need to find a nice neutral spot where I can fight them. Okay, so it says they're coming from this direction right here. Let's just paint them with the laser. Worst case scenario, I think we fall back towards the base and allow the turrets to kind of take over. I may not be able to grab aggro on every single one of these in order to like force them to focus on me. Not bad. I would have preferred I would have... Oh. There's spitters. Okay, let's kill some spitters then. I still got ammo left. I don't mind murdering them. We are very, very nearly out of ammo, though, which is kind of a problem. Can I get a reload, Armory? You wanna reload me up, Armory? I would love to have a reload, please. If I could have a reload. If I only had a preload. All right, well, we finished the enemy off, so we're all good.
Build some additional power plants for it. It consumes a lot of energy.
Oh yeah, the comms hub. So the comms hub is how we're going to do research. This game has a research tree. It is frankly immense. I assume that in the campaign it more than likely transfers its progress in between levels, and that's going to be the main form of progression. It's sped up in the survival mode so that you can research like really, really quickly. But for the campaign mode, I get the feeling they're probably not going to force you to redo the research every single time you play, because I've heard you go in between planets and stuff like that. At least I've seen that teased in the press kit. But we need to get the communications hub done. We have about a 90 power surplus during the day. That's going to cost us what looks like 600 ironium. Okay. Oh, good. Yay. Wind speed is good. I have, like, the entire infrastructure of my base runs off of wind, so I'm okay with that. Grab a little bit more ironium. It pairs well with my bonium. All right.
Wind turbines are spinning like crazy.
Communications hub construction in progress. We can download all the technology blueprints that we need through this building's quantum entanglement template matrix.
Yeah, dude, the quantum entanglement template matrix, dude.
Upload anything back to Earth. There's so much data to be gathered here. I can't wait to start collecting research specimens.
We will be able to share all of our research data as soon as the Rift station is operational and the rift back to Earth has been opened. Let's focus on that first.
The wind is calming down. Wind turbine power output is coming back to normal. Carbonium storage is full. We should construct more storage buildings.
Communications hub construction finished. We can now use it to download new technologies.
Alright, so the comms hub is done, and I actually had to redo my entire defense grid. I realized that it wasn't stamping out facing the directions that I wanted. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter, and the guns are omnidirectional, but like having guns on this wall that were facing like upwards or whatever, it just annoyed me. So even in the case that it didn't matter, I went through and I rebuilt every single gun facing the proper direction so that it can face the enemy horde with might and power and valor.
We can use it to download new technologies.
All right, so we can actually go to our research menu right here, and this is the research tree for base and buildings. This is the research tree for weaponry, and this is the research tree for getting better at killing aliens. And so anyways, as you can see, there is a lot to dive into here. There's a ton of stuff. I would strongly suggest that maybe we start out with, like, anything that boosts our HP and makes us a little bit thicker of a boy. Like, that's kind of what I'm a fan of. Apparently, it takes 25 minutes to get that done, so that's going to be a while. We've got repair facilities. We've got upgraded mining facilities. I mean, anything you could possibly want is going to be available through this menu. I'm going to do a orbital scanner. That sounds good, so that I can find where the points of interest are on the planet. And then I'm going to research the flamethrower, and I'm going to research the rocket launcher. And the reason for that is that there are enemies in this game that you need explosive damage for.
Included only some basic blueprints.
Ashley, now that the basic base setup is complete, we should start working on our primary objective, constructing an interplanetary rift station. It is going to take a long time to build, so we should start working on it as soon as possible.
That's true. It's a massive building with multiple components and pipeline connections for plasma fuel and coolant. It's going to be the central structure in our base, with multiple support buildings, so we should plan a lot of free space around it. Let's start by placing the foundation.
Sound like a plan to me. I'm just sitting here waiting for research to get done, so I couldn't care less. Let's see here. We need 1,000 of each resource in order to get it done, so we are unfortunately going to need a few more silos if we want this thing to really pop into shape. So there we go. I'm glad. This is why I always try to be very, very aggressive with claiming territory. It's because building is kind of space intensive in this game. You're gonna need a lot of space. Let's take a look at this foundation, shall we? Let's see how huge this thing is. It's pretty... Oh, wow. That thing is beefy. Okay. So we need water. It looks like we need plasma going into it, and we need water going into one side, too. So I'll probably put that right there, because we've got kind of gaps that we can get things in.
Marks the beginning of the next chapter of our mission on this planet.
You sometimes sound a bit like Colonel Nordstrom. Do you know that?
I received additional instructions on how to motivate you and keep your spirit high during this mission. They were indeed written by Colonel Nordstrom and revised by Admiral von Blofeld. Would you like me to read what I was instructed to tell you for this occasion?
Oh, please do, Mr. Riggs. This is exactly what I wanted to hear after traveling halfway through the galaxy.
Captain Novak, you were selected for the rift jump to Galatea 37 as an exceptional...
He's actually going to do it. He's actually doing the full spiel.
...of Earth's expeditionary forces. During your services with the Extraterrestrial Science Corps, you have time and again shown courage, bravery, and an unflinching willingness to sacrifice yourself to complete your objectives. You are destined...
Okay, that's a nice speech. It sounds very uplifting. But they didn't read my bio very well.
What do you mean?
The sacrifice part.
Do you mean the Orion mission? You were working without me back then.
Yes, that and a few other things.
Do you want me to read further motivational pieces?
That's enough of Colonel Nordstrom. Let's skip the military pathos and stick to your original programming. We've got a planet to explore.
Roger that, Ashley. I am archiving all of the motivational speeches.
Thank God.
Humidity is rising. It's going to rain in a moment.
Kind of sort of wish that, like, if you look at the animation of the robot, he looks... Oh, there's bugs over here. Go away. No, bad buggies. There we go.
This rain is harmless to our base, but it decreases solar panel efficiency until it stops.
That's okay. I don't think we're worried about power-related situations. So it does indeed look like the first level's map is populated with things that want to murder me. Oh, there's guys over here. Here, have some machine gun. You want to taste my machine gun? There you go. We got 30 seconds till our first research comes through for the orbital thingamadoobie. I have no idea how long it's going to take us to get that platform down, but that's a building that I actually haven't seen from the survival mode. So it's got a bit of a Factorio component in that I think we're going to be laying some pipe out here. Normally you're not allowed to do that on YouTube, but because I'm a special customer, they allow me to do it live and here on video. Yay! So we can get the orbital scanner now. Oh my god, that takes so much resources. We also need to have cobalt scanning in order for that to work. So unfortunately, until we can track down cobalt, we're kind of like in a hole at the moment.
The Rift Station Foundation has been completed. We need to construct all of the Rift Station components before we can start powering up the portal.
The Rift Station has 3 main components that require a lot of rare resources to be built. The fusion field accelerator requires enriched uranium. The hyperparticle condenser requires palladium. And the quantum gate stabilizer, which requires titanium. We haven't found any traces of these elements near our base.
These resources might not be present anywhere near our location. We should construct an orbital scanner to start scouting for interesting locations around the entire planet. It will allow us to establish precise coordinates for long-range rift jumps around the planet.
Well, at least I was ahead of the curve with the orbital scanner, so that's good. That's 7 minutes I just saved myself. We need to get cobalt, yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at our research then. Like, I know the cobalt scanner was like over here, like right there. Yeah, let's go ahead and add that to the research queue. That's going to take 15 minutes. Oh, God. Oh, 3 minutes. Okay, it's adding it together as you put these out here. 3 minutes for cobalt handling. I can handle that.
Another piece of technology. This element isn't easy to find, so we'll need to download the cobalt handling technology and search for it with the geoscanner.
It'll be fine. It's going to take a couple minutes, but like I'm sure it'll work out. I've actually never used the cobalt scanner in survival mode either. I'm so desperately fighting for my life whenever I play that mode that I don't really ever get to play around with any of the advanced stuff, so that's good. Yeah, I think I'm going to marinate a few more bugs just to... Oh my god, there's so many. Okay, let's maybe not get trapped in the middle of them. That seems like a recipe for heartache and things not going so well. I feel like they've chosen like a really, really tasteful way to do the dead bodies. All of them don't stay, but enough of them stay that you can tell that like a battle has happened in a given area. Just absolutely in awe of what they've managed to pull off with like the graphics and like the physics of the robot running and the lighting effects and everything else. Like I really, really like the visual presentation of this game. It actually kind of reminds me, with the way the robots move, it reminds me of Hawken. Did you guys ever play that back in the day? Like, it's like lighter weight than Mech Warrior, but it's heavier weight than like Armored Core or like Gundam. And so like you can tell that it has weight, but this thing can move. And that's like that middle point to me was always like Hawken. That's the only game that ever tried to strike a balance between like having the crazy heavy mechs and having the faster Gundam-style anime mecha. What is that? Is that a poo monster, dude? That looks like a poo monster to me. That's definitely new. I've never seen one of these before. All right, listen, poo monsters. Apparently, poo monsters are highly resistant to damage. Oh, I killed one. Oh, did he just try to burp on me, dude? All right, so apparently since we're just fighting like a batch of the monsters from Dogma. Oh, there's invisible ones, too. That's kind of horrifying. Okay. They're definitely... Oh, and they don't get along either. They're fighting each other. Interesting. So apparently not all the bugs are on the same team. I need bullets. Armory, please. Ow. Okay, that was super painful. I hated every moment of that. That was deeply upsetting. Never want to do that again. I went through 80 bullets that fast. God, dude. Like, you hold that thing down till it clicks and you just kind of lose track of time. Like, it's like reality just disappears out from in front of you. All right, we'll do this the old-fashioned way with the old power sword. There we go. There are a lot of cool weapons in this game. There's missile launchers, grenade launchers, flamethrowers, power fists, Tesla coils. I mean, there's all kinds of rowdy weapons in this game, and they're all good versus certain types of foes. And so, like, you can get into a whole lot of mayhem in this game, especially in the survival mode, laying down landmines and lighting them up with grenades and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if there's, like, an orbital strike, but there should be. Hopefully there's, like, an orbital ion cannon around. But this is the Riftbreaker. I really hope you guys enjoyed checking this on out. I know we've covered it a bunch of times in the past, but the game is good enough that even though it's only been, like, 6 months since I covered it the last time, I did want to give you guys, like, hey, a heads up that, like, the 1.0 is a-coming, Chief. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today it was the Riftbreaker, a game about which I don't really have that many complaints or observations. One of those games that I think did everything great. Our settings menu over here. We've got multiple different languages, from Polish to Russian to French to German to Spanish to Portuguese. I mean, there's the gang's all here. Aside from that, you can change around the camera modes. You can also enable and disable vibration. The game is controller ready, just in case you're wondering about that. It's got the frame limiter over there. As far as graphics goes, there's a bunch of graphical options that you can fiddle with. Everything from texture filtering to, you know, ray tracing, if that's important to you. The user interface right here, you can actually customize the clocks. You can change the size of the cursor if you're hard of seeing. There's a bunch of little things inside of here that you can play around with. Health bars, stuff like that. Audio mixer, actually split up in kind of a nice way. It's got a few extra options right there, and this game is streaming integrated, just in case you wanted to do it on Twitch with your audience. I will be playing this on Twitch. You guys are more than welcome to join me for that, but I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for stopping on in, and tomorrow we will resume sifting through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie gaming. Better believe it. Bye, everybody.